Now is Michael Smerconish, host of CNN's Smerconish and CNN political commentator. Michael, I assume you've had a chance to see the video, the exclusive CNN video this morning of Roger Stone being arrested before sunrise this morning at his home in Florida. He was indicted by Robert Mueller's team on 7 counts. Your thoughts?
So, like everybody else, I've been poring over and marking up the document. It's not good news for Roger Stone, obviously, but as you've pointed out, we're talking about obstruction, false statements, and witness tampering. What we're not talking about is conspiracy, or as I'm sure the president will be saying later today, it's not collusion. But here's the important thing. Nothing prevents Special Counsel Robert Mueller from charging in succession. And by that I mean, this is not necessarily the total game against Roger Stone. This may only be the opening chapter. The second observation that I have is that Roger Stone famously said, "I have actually communicated with Julian Assange." And I wondered in this document, because Roger then backed off of those statements, I wondered if in this document there would be any direct link between Assange and Stone. I'm not seeing one. I've read it twice. I don't think there's anything in here. It seems like it's all through intermediaries. And the third observation is, I asked Roger Stone on CNN on November 3rd, do you anticipate being indicted? And in giving me a long-winded explanation, what he said is, I'm guilty of hyping, punking, posturing, promoting, and bluffing. What he was saying is, I'm a BS artist. And what I was doing is taking information in the public domain and spinning it as if I were on the inside. Now, when I read this document, what I also note is he was not a passive actor. It was not him sitting back with a search engine and looking at Google. He was very actively working those 2 individuals identified in the indictment for anything they had, but he doesn't seem to have been in direct contact with WikiLeaks himself.
You lay out, I think, very astutely what is not in here and what could still be to come. But there are some new things in here, including direct references to the Trump campaign. And let me just read you this paragraph that jumped out to us. After July 22nd, 2016 release of the stolen DNC emails by Organization 1, that's WikiLeaks, a senior Trump campaign official was directed to contact Stone about any additional releases and what other damaging information Organization 1 had regarding the Clinton campaign. Stone thereafter told the Trump campaign about potential future releases of damaging material by Organization 1. He was directed to contact Stone, a senior Trump campaign official. This is the first direct link between the Trump campaign and Roger Stone about WikiLeaks. The Trump campaign wants WikiLeaks information.
Well, you're absolutely right, and that's why my first point was one of noting that nothing in this precludes Mueller from coming back with beyond process crimes, which we regard these as, with more substantive charges against Stone and whomever that may have been. Because remember, at the crux here, what we really want to know is, was there an aiding and abetting of an illegal act, in this case, the hack of the DNC server by foreign interests, the Russians? We still don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah, he may not have made direct contact with Julian Assange or WikiLeaks, but he wanted to. I mean, throughout this, you can see how interested Roger Stone is in working through intermediaries and in whatever information WikiLeaks has. He, as you point out, is quite active in terms of trying to make inroads. And so I hear what you're saying. This is not like, okay, well, case closed. But as we often know, it's the cover-up and not the crime. And you still do time.
You know, you're right, Allison, and I think that there's a tendency on all of our part to want the final chapter. This is not the final chapter. This raises as many questions as it answers.
I will also say, Michael, you said something interesting. All we want to know is if a law was broken here, but I'm not sure that that's the limit, right? When Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of State, is calling WikiLeaks a non-state hostile intelligence service in contact and in the service of Russia, I do think there is a public interest in knowing how willing the Trump campaign was to work with this non-state hostile actor during the campaign. Even if it's not directly against the law, even if there wasn't a statute violated, isn't it in the public interest?
Well, I think we know the answer to that question, and that is that they were very eager to glean from WikiLeaks, frankly, from whatever source that they could possibly obtain, any and all information that was going to benefit the campaign. Hey, one other observation, if I may, about Roger Stone, because I've known him for years and I've interviewed him on many, many occasions. The only thing worse for Roger than being indicted is not being indicted. As odd as that sounds, he loves being in the eye of the storm. I'm sure it's not a pleasant experience to hear that knock on his door, but there's some kind of a perverse thrill that he gets about being the focus of all of our attention.
Yes, relevance at any cost, even if it means being on national TV in your pajamas, as he was this morning.
Correct.
All right, very good.
I gotta say, Michael, we love speaking to you. You have ice water in your veins. You so coolly and clearly look through this stuff. No, I mean it.
That's not true.
This broke an hour ago,
true.
and we've been feverishly reading this, and I think I can see you calmly and with great calculation.
And with your red marker.
You're reading line by line there. It's all marked up. We're so lucky to have you on this morning. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. See ya.
You can watch Smirconners Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern.